Well, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Good. Hope everyone's having a good afternoon. Um, how you doing, Jean?
Good.
That's good. Jennifer, hi, how are you?
Hi, fine, thanks. How are you,
Good.
Dr. Kondrot?
Pretty good. Pretty good. So it's nice to see everybody. Hope you're doing well. And looks like we're just getting started here. We only got a few people here at the meeting. So if you have any questions, let's begin.
Okay.
Oh, there's Lois. Lois is coming on board. Hi, Lois.
Hello, Doctor.
Happy Saturday.
You as well.
Yeah, it's a happy day.
Well,
Hey,
that's good.
Jean, you have a question?
Yeah, what I couldn't remember the other day was your thing on folic acid, and the importance of that with macular degeneration. I was wondering how I could get more information on, what I should be looking for in the folic acid and the other B vitamins for that matter. Like, should I be taking them all, or how do I?
One of the issues is that I think we did some genetic testing one time with patients with macular degeneration, and it seems like most people with macular degeneration have a inability to detox properly.
Okay.
And it seems to be related to the B complex vitamins. So Dr. Merritt, who I did some work with, felt very strongly that the folic acid deficiency was linked to macular degeneration. And of course, that's in most of your nutritional supplements. I don't think you have to, go out and buy, a folic acid by itself.
Is it in the Ocufolin?
I believe it is. I'll have to look at the formula.
Okay.
I think it is.
And I don't need more vitamin B12 or anything like that?
No. I'm a really strong advocate of proper nutrition. I think the diet, food, what you put into your body. I don't really like it when patients become over dependent on vitamin supplements.
Okay, all right.
I think the best way to get proper nutrition is the food that we eat. And the more and more I study this, it's just that we're really poisoning ourselves.
Exactly, yeah.
Just about, especially the American diet. The American diet is more geared to processed and fast foods.
Yeah, well, I try to avoid all of those things at the very most I do.
And I really
everything I do is cooked from scratch, and
oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
If it has a label on it, you have no business eating it.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't buy anything that's pre-made or pre-packaged or pre anything. I do it all myself.
Yeah,
so
because
I think
it's just hard. It's hard to believe that, most eye problems, especially macular degeneration, they did not exist before 1920.
Yeah.
So it's like so much of the common eye diseases that we see is due to the American diet.
Okay. I have another question about my eye protocol. Now that my eyes have gone from wet to dry, should I be using the same protocol, or should you be changing my protocol on there?
We should probably change it to dry. That would be more specific.
Yeah.
But even if you're using the wet protocol, there are some frequencies in there for the dry.
Oh, is there? Okay. All right.
I'd like it to be a little bit more specific for the dry.
Okay, I'll try to get that set up with Chris then for you to come in and change my
Mhm.
my
And it's very
protocol.
easy for me to change your frequencies. It does require the software and
Yeah,
cable.
I've got the software downloaded. I don't know if it'll be working or not, but it is certainly downloaded. So,
Mhm. But I've
yeah.
done it, and once you get used to the format of it, it's really easy. I log onto your computer and
You
upload,
want?
upload the new file, and then
Okay.
just takes a couple of minutes. But usually it's the initial time period that I spend with people that, is getting used to the software and, but
Yeah, I'm sure.
talk
Oh,
to Chris and we'll get something set up, okay?
okay, I'll do that. Yeah, okay, thanks. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Dr. Kondrot. I'm going to be taking Ocufolin again. I'm just waiting for it to arrive. And my naturopath has me on a B vitamin while I'm undergoing IV chelation therapy.
Uh-huh.
So I haven't sat down or had the naturopath look at all my vitamins. But so my question is, can you have too much of the B vitamins, or is it like vitamin C, your body will just get rid of it?
It's really rare to have, vitamin B toxicity.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but I would consult, since you're working with a naturopathic doctor, have the doctor look at your vitamins to make sure it's
Right,
a good balance.
right,
If you are getting IV chelation, most doctors will supplement with a Myers cocktail or something like that.
right. Yeah, and I'm doing that. I'm actually alternating week to week, not the full Myers cocktail because I'm very sensitive. We're adding things one at a time,
Mhm.
but essentially am adding intravenously things that I
Mhm.
might be
Good.
lost.
So how do you feel after the chelation?
It's really interesting. It varies. A couple weeks ago, I felt pretty lousy for a couple days, just exhausted and just kind of yucky. This week, when I did it, I was pretty good afterwards.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, make sure you drink plenty of water
right. Mm-hmm.
and rest. Make sure you get
Yes.
plenty of rest. But I think proper hydration is key because you want to flush out all the heavy
Yeah,
metals that the chelating substance is binding.
right. Right.
Good. Well, keep us posted
Yeah,
on
I
that.
will. Thank you.
Okay, Tyra, how are you?
Yeah.
I can't see you. I just see the top of your head.
That better.
Oh, there you are. Yeah, we want to.
I wondered if you could clarify the time to sun at sunset. For example, tonight it says sunset will be at 7:53, I think it says. So is it right before that? Because right after that, the sun is still showing through.
Well, as soon as the red color starts to form on the horizon, that's when you want to start. And I think you're referring to the sunning.
Yes.
And there's different methods for doing sunning. Some doctors or therapists say that you can do sunning anytime during the day. My feeling is that most of the studies have shown that the red infrared light is more therapeutic for the eye than the ultraviolet. And that's why I recommend doing the sunning in the evening or early morning when you have the red coloration. So the key is the red coloration. And you probably have a 5 or a 10-minute opportunity. And that's probably the length of the time period, which is ideal, 5 or 10 minutes of doing the sunning.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Okay, Lois, got your hand up?
Yes. Hi, doctor. I have a couple questions. I believe, our last session, you were talking somewhat about, ozone therapy and insufflation. We love you too, Dr. Conrad. But I had a couple questions. Would it, in terms of priority, would it be more important to do, like IV chelation therapy or whatever, whatever method you can do to do chelation? Or would it be of more benefit to do the, IV ozone or insufflation first? Or is it better to get the lead out, so to speak, and then pursue the ozone therapies?
Honey?
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
complex question.
Okay, I figured.
It may take me the entire session to answer that. I think a lot depends on your disposable health dollars.
Right.
One of the best treatments you can do is something called Keyzone. It's a combination of chelation and ozone, which is
Oh,
really powerful therapy. And I like it because since they have an IV inserted in you, you get the chelation and you get the ozone at the same time. It'd be
okay.
really beneficial. I think Dr. Frank Schallenberger was the one that came up with that therapy. He's a big
Okay.
ozone educator, him and Dr. Rowan.
Yes.
And, he developed the whole Keyzone treatment, which I kind of like, but then it is kind of pricey.
Sure.
On the other
Sure.
hand, I like to empower my patients. I want you to become dependent and not need doctors. That's why I like the microcurrent, because once you understand how to use the microcurrent, it can be very valuable. You're putting those electrons in, you're helping the body to regenerate, etc.
Yes.
And that's why I like patients to maybe invest in their own ozone generator. I'm talking
Okay.
about the ozone generator that uses oxygen,
Right.
and either do rectal insufflation or auricular, with the stethoscope.
Okay. Okay.
And this is something, once you invest in the ozone generator, and now the prices come
Leave
down
your phone here, it's
considerably,
all set up.
you can probably get a nice ozone generator that uses oxygen for under $1,000.
Okay. Okay.
And once you own that, the oxygen tank is cheap, maybe, $10, $20 a month. And
Right.
you do the auricular a couple times a day, and then do the rectal chelation, the suppository.
Okay. Okay. Is it in terms of the ozone insufflation, is it, in a sense, would it be better to do the auricular one because your ears are closer to your eyes, or does it not matter?
It's funny, here in the US, doctors favor not the auricular, the rectal.
Yeah.
In Europe and Asia, they favor the auricular.
Okay. Okay.
I think both work. I think probably the rectal insufflation probably is a little bit more potent.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Because when you do the rectal, all of the ozone is going into your rectum and you hold it. When you're
Yes.
doing the auricular, you're squeezing the bag with the stethoscope in. So a lot of the ozone is dissipated. It makes contact with the mucosa in your ear and then it goes away.
Okay. Okay.
Or do a combination. Now, during the COVID epidemic, I got tired of doing the rectal every other day. And that's when I started doing the auricular.
Okay.
So I was actually doing the auricular twice a day.
Okay. So if you were to do, to get the ozone machine and then do like the suppositories and the oral chelation, you think that would be sufficient to,
Yeah.
to get you? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And then another question I have that's completely unrelated in terms of our diet. I work really hard, about the oils and everything, but, every once in a while, like last night I was at a friend's and we had a party and I had a big bowl of ice cream. And I know sugar is a no-no. So I'm just wondering, I haven't reviewed your diet in a while, but are some of the more natural sweeteners like monk fruit or xylitol or stevia okay, or do you not recommend
I
those?
like stevia
Okay.
as an
Okay.
herbal sweetener. But unfortunately, if you have a sugar addiction, you need the sugar. And sugar is just a horrible drug. It's a poison.
Right.
And
But okay.
but then again, you have to have a balance in life and you have to enjoy life. So having, you know, a cake
Exactly.
full of
Yeah.
ice cream isn't going to kill you.
Right.
Just make sure you maybe do the detox program and, you know, drink
Okay.
water.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Okay. Okay. Good. Thank you.
But, you know, the more and more I study alternative medicine, I think that our diet's the most important thing. You know, right now you
Yes.
have to really be vigilant and everything that you
Oh,
put in your body. If it has a
yes.
label on it, don't eat it.
Right. Right. Right.
And
Yeah.
try to eat organic foods. I mean, you don't have to be a vegetarian. You just have to make sure that the meat you're consuming is free range chicken or
Right.
not beef that's been loaded up with hormones and, you know, corn
Yes.
fed right before the slaughter because it's genetically modified corn.
Right. 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 Yeah. Well, I only do beef once in a while, and I always get grass fed. And then
Mhm.
the rest of the time it's wild caught, you know, cold water caught salmon and a little chicken and turkey. So, okay, thank you. And a lot of eggs,
Mhm.
pasture
Yeah.
eggs.
Yeah. So Ralph, hi, I think, are you there? I think you're muted, Ralph. I don't know if you have a question. Any other questions? Yeah, Jennifer.
Will you
Yep.
say a little more about key zone therapy? I mean, as you know, I'm doing IV chelation, but this is the first time I've heard about key zone, and I wonder whether, I don't know what you what you have to say about it.
Well, I think it's really a good therapy simply because, you know, you're there with the alternative doctor, you have an IV and you're getting the chelation therapy, you might as well get an ozone treatment. You know, the IV's in and they use it through the same line.
Okay.
So I would talk to your alternative doctor, whoever's doing.
Mhm.
Um, the other therapy is the ultraviolet blood irradiation, the UBI. That's another therapy that's just as
Yeah.
effective as
Yeah.
ozone.
Right. My acupuncturist does intravenous light therapy, and he uses 4 different colors. So you have an IV for about an hour, and then the color of the light is changed every 15 minutes.
Mhm. And
Does that,
the blood is passed through the color filter. Is that what he does?
well, you know, specifically, I'm not sure how it works, but I think the light is shown into the IV.
Mhm.
So I guess that's the same as the light.
Yeah.
It
Well,
might
the
be,
way that works is, you know, our blood is composed of hemoglobin.
right.
And if you would compare hemoglobin to chlorophyll, the molecule is almost identical. And you
Mhm.
know, all life is based on the absorption of ultraviolet light by a plant, converting it to energy. And in the plant molecule, the chlorophyll has magnesium in the center. In the humans, we have hemoglobin, which has iron in the center.
Mhm.
So essentially, our hemoglobin absorbs the ultraviolet light, absorbs a photon.
Mhm.
And, you know, scientists have actually documented the electron transport chain or cytochrome A that absorbs it and it is converted to energy. So when you pass your blood, you know, any type of light filter, you know, it doesn't matter what color the light is, a photon's a photon. And its hemoglobin absorbs that photon and converts it into energy. And that's why one of the benefits of going outside and getting ultraviolet light to your body, because On the surface of our skin, we have those very tiny capillaries. And so the ultraviolet light is absorbed into the hemoglobin. That's the other reason why syntonic light therapy is so powerful, because when you do syntonic light, your eyes are open
Right.
and those photons are coming right into your eye. And when an eye doctor looks into your eye, he can actually see the blood through the blood vessels, the transparent blood vessels. So the eye is one of the few parts of the body where you can actually see the blood. So when you're doing the syntonic light therapy, those photons are going right into your hemoglobin molecules in your blood. And that's why it's a very, very effective treatment.
I see.
All these methods are a way of getting energy, the photon energy, into the hemoglobin, into your blood.
And if a patient of yours was going to do the intravenous light therapy, with what frequency do you recommend doing it?
Well, they have different filters, the companies that manufactures, and most of it is the ultraviolet light that has the most energy. And it depends on, it's been a long time since I've done the ultraviolet light irradiation. We used to have a couple of different, it wasn't a filter, it was actually a bulb. We had a high energy bulb. One bulb was for actually treating an infectious process, and the other bulb was putting energy into the body. So it depended on what we were treating.
Okay, if you don't mind, I'd like to send you information on the method that this guy uses and what it is,
Yeah,
and have you look at it.
but it sounds like he's not doing the typical ultraviolet blood irradiation. He's using different light filters like red, blue, green. Is that what
Yeah,
he's?
so that they insert the IV, and attached to the IV is this machine, and you can dial different colors in. So they start on one color, and then 15 minutes later they come in and they turn it to another color until they've done all the colors.
Mhm.
So I don't
Well,
know if that
there's
makes.
been some publications in the medical literature on the effect of different wavelengths of light, like on blood pressure.
Mhm.
So, certain colors will lower the blood pressure, some will raise it, some put more energy in. And that's the same principle that we're doing with syntonic light. The question is, when you're doing this syntonic light with the syntonic filters, do we want to add energy? Do we want to reduce energy? So typically, if you have like wet macular degeneration or inflammation, we want to reduce the energy. But if you have dry macular degeneration or advanced glaucoma, where you're losing vision, we want to put energy in.
Yeah, glaucoma is what I have.
Yeah, so with glaucoma, we want to use filters more towards the red spectrum.
What I remember him talking about in general is that the mitochondria are supported through this treatment.
Yeah, they've actually measured that, when a photon goes into the mitochondria, it stimulates the electron transport chain, putting energy in, increasing ATP.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's the proper treatment.
Mhm.
And it sounds like it's very similar to syntonic light therapy, where there's putting certain wavelengths in of light to help, for two things. One is to balance the autonomic nervous system,
Right.
and the other is to put energy into your body. And of course, with
Right.
glaucoma, we want to put more energy into the optic nerve.
Right.
The tricky thing is we don't want to put too much energy in, because that may elevate your intraocular pressure.
Okay. All right.
Oh, speaking of glaucoma, I just came across an article that documented that they looked at exercise and intraocular pressure. And this was just a study that was recently done, and it did demonstrate that daily exercise will reduce the intraocular pressure.
And must this include aerobic exercise?
Aerobic is much better. They found out with anaerobic, like weightlifting,
Mhm.
temporarily may increase the intraocular pressure,
Really interesting.
but long term, it's beneficial to the eye.
Okay,
So my recommendation is that if you have high pressures to begin with, let's say that the doctor can't get the pressure down, they may be 25 or 30, I would not recommend anaerobic. But
okay,
if your pressures are normal, any type of exercise is going to be good
got it.
because the intraocular pressure will be lower during the exercise. And at the same time, you're increasing the blood circulation and oxygenation. So all these things will be really beneficial.
Got it.
Now, the other thing that we haven't talked about is EWOT, EWOT, exercise while on oxygen therapy. I don't know if
Oh,
you've heard of that.
no.
That if you have an oxygen generator, what you do is you do anaerobic exercise. You have to exercise to the point where you have a hard time carrying on a conversation. Typically, the way you differentiate aerobic from anaerobic. If you're doing exercise and you're still having the ability to carry on a conversation, that's aerobic. If you can't talk, that's anaerobic. So the way the exercise with oxygen works, you get an oxygen generator and you put a mask on. And as you're on a treadmill, if you want to get yourself to a high rate of exercise where you can't talk and you're breathing the oxygen in, that can be a very powerful therapy to increase your oxygenation of your body. So you're getting a combination of effects. You're getting the benefit from exercise and you're getting the benefits from increasing the oxygen capacity in your body.
Okay,
So I know a lot of alternative doctors are doing that. And that may be something that you may want to consider doing
okay,
for your overall health benefit if you have glaucoma or if you have macular degeneration. You know, if you have a treadmill or an exercycle, you can buy an oxygen generator.
all
It's a
right.
device that sits in your floor and it just concentrates the air and gives you a higher level of oxygen.
Uh-huh. Do you have a recommendation for an oxygen generator?
I could check on that.
Oh, please do. Yeah, I'd like that
And I'll let you
information
know
too.
because we had one in our clinic before. I don't recall the model or that.
All
And
right,
that could be an added benefit, along with hyperbaric chambers,
uh-huh,
you know, going in and staying in a hyperbaric chamber, and as you're breathing, your oxygen concentration goes up.
right. I did a fair amount several years ago of hyperbaric for a concussion. And it was in an industrial strength
Mhm.
chamber at a neurologist's office, but I know that my naturopath has, you know, the less industrial strength, but I'm sure it's of some benefit. It's not something I've done recently, but it's available to me.
Yeah, we had like a small plastic cylinder that you would
Right.
log in, and it would pump in oxygen to get the pressure up, and
Right.
that that is something that can be very beneficial. But I think a lot of people are claustrophobic. A less expensive way to get the benefit would be exercise with oxygen.
Okay. I'm going to look into that. Yeah.
Now, the other thing is when you do ozone therapy, studies have shown that when you do ozone therapy, you reset the oxygen uptake of the mitochondria and cells. So when you're young and healthy, you may have a really high oxygen uptake of your cells. But as you get older, the oxygen uptake declines. I don't know the exact percentages. Let's say when you're in your 20s, it's an 80% uptake. When you're in your 80s, it's maybe a 60% uptake. But after ozone therapy, one ozone therapy, it resets the oxygen uptake. So your cells are taking up more oxygen than for the rest of the day. And oxygen is the key. You know, the more oxygen, oxygen is necessary for regeneration. So if you have poor circulation, you're dehydrated or you're under stress, you have poor oxygenation. So anything you can do to improve the oxygen saturation of your blood and uptake are keys to healing.
Uh-huh.
And of course, getting rid of the heavy metals. And, eating the proper food, getting rid of
Right.
all the toxins and poisons, all those things are beneficial.
Got it.
Okay, Lois. So you're
Yeah,
hitting-
yes. In terms of the key sign, is that, I think there's, a website you can go to find doctors who do chelation. How would we go about finding a doctor that does that? I mean, this is the first time I've even heard of it.
I would ask your doctor if he does the key zone.
Okay.
I think if any doctor does ozone and chelation, they can do key zone.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not.
Now,
I
there are
think it
some
dep-
doctors that only do chelation, they don't do ozone.
Right.
And some
Okay.
do ozone without the chelation. So you want to find somebody, and most alternative doctors do both. And most doctors are familiar with the key zone. The key zone isn't something new. It's been around for maybe close to 10 years.
Okay. Okay.
But it was developed
Right.
by Dr. Frank Schallenberger.
Right. I remember you mentioning that. Okay. And then my other question was, in terms of the syntonic light therapy, we're only supposed to do it for 10 minutes a day. Is there any benefit if we were to do 2 sessions, 10 minutes a day, or is that
I
not
like
good?
gentle stimulation. And I
Okay.
don't think there's any real additional benefit. Also,
Okay.
you're doing it every day.
Yes. Okay.
So I think that, the 10 minutes. Now, in some cases, if I have somebody with advanced glaucoma and their pressure is really high, I may have them do it twice a day if I can demonstrate that it's lowering their intraocular pressure.
Okay. All right.
But I think once a day is adequate.
Okay, because my geographic, I have the advanced dry, and the geographic atrophy is getting worse, and so I didn't know if the syntonic would help that at all.
Well, maybe what I would do is you may want to up it to 20 minutes.
Okay. So, do it all in once. Do the 20 minutes all in one session.
Now, are you just on the mu delta, or do we have you alternating?
No, I'm just on the green one. Is that the mu delta?
The mu delta.
Yeah. I'm just on the green.
Now, what
glass.
we might want to do is to put more energy into your eye.
How would we do that?
I may want to add a different color. Talk to Chris.
Okay.
And then I'll be talking to her on Monday.
Okay.
And
All right.
I'll mention that we spoke.
Okay.
Because what we might want to do is sometimes I'll put, it's called alpha delta. So you'll
Okay.
start with more of a red filter.
Okay.
And then go to the lemon. You're using the lemon.
Okay. Well, right now it's green.
The mu delta should be kind of a lemon color.
Well, no, I'm not sure. Well, it's a green one. I thought that was mu delta, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, we have 2 greens. We have the mu delta, which is more of a lemon, and then we have the mu epsilon, which more is a turquoise.
Okay, no, this is more of a, I guess,
like a lemon green.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's the one I have.
Yeah, and that's
Okay,
the one for detoxification and putting more energy into the eye. Because if you have the areolar, the other thing we want to do, did we recently change your remedy?
Yeah, I started a new one, sulfur, on May 13th. Yes.
Okay. And if it isn't helping, I may want to be a little bit more aggressive.
Okay. It is
What's that?
helping, but like I said, my vision, the geographic atrophy, is getting worse. So I don't know where to go with that. Okay. So
Yeah,
should I?
we want to get the right remedy to improve your vision.
Okay, yeah, because I'm getting, the last 2 or 3 visits, I've been worse every time. To
Yeah,
the point.
I don't like to hear that.
Yeah, to the point, I mentioned on our last Zoom, they want me to do the Izervay shots, and I don't want to do them. So,
Well, I think what I might want to do is to add another homeopathic remedy. Have you continue the sulfur and take another remedy every day.
okay,
So,
all right.
Let's set up a time with Chris and we can talk about that.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you.
Or I don't even have to talk to Chris. I know what to do. Just have Chris,
Okay, I will call her on Monday then.
and then I'll update you with the additional light filter
Okay,
and another remedy that you take in conjunction with the sulfur.
okay, okay,
It's to stimulate more of the macula.
okay. All right. All right. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? We covered some good topics, the key zone treatment,
Yeah, thank you for that.
exercise while on oxygen,
Mhm.
and the two sites for the ozone generator is A to Z ozone. Let me just check here. A to Z. The one is simply O3. Simply o3.com. That works.
Oh.
I'll put that in the chat. And the
Is
other one is A to Z ozone.
So is that different than the ozone generator you're using for with the saline for drops?
Well, no,
Okay.
simply O3 you can buy. Yeah, it's a different ozone generator because with the drops, you're not using a tank of oxygen.
Uh-huh, right.
But if you're doing the rectal insufflation, then you need the tank of oxygen.
And that's what you would need if you were going to use a mask while you're exercising.
Oh, well, that's completely different. That's an oxygen concentrator.
Oh,
You're not using ozone. And that's
Oh.
really important to understand. You never want to breathe in ozone.
yeah, right, of course, yeah.
So the other site is A number 2 ozone.
Oh, A2 ozone.
Yeah, let me put that in
Okay.
the chat here.
Is there one you recommend over the other, one company over the other, doctor?
I think one of them has a really nice, inexpensive
Okay,
A to Z ozone. .com, and the other is simply o3.com. A to Z ozone. I think the A to Z ozone has a really nice one. Yeah. Let me show that to you. Let me put the share screen so I can show that to you. You see this one right here?
Mm-hmm.
This one here is easy to use. Then the other website is, this is A to Z. And let me put in simply O3. That's the other one. This is the other one here. This is the complete ozone kit here. That's kind of pricey. Oh, no, they include everything. They have the regulator, tubing, the works. But I think the other company has a less expensive one. These are different. I think the Stratus is the one that that may be a different company. Here, the Stratus for the home kit.
Okay.
But remember, oh, hi, Elaine, how are you? But remember, if you're making the ozone eye drops, you don't need the tank of oxygen.
Right.
You just get the simply inexpensive ozone generator. And oh, that reminds me, if any of you are using the ozone eye drops, I sent out a questionnaire. I don't know if you got the questionnaire. If you could please respond and let me know. Because I was asked by one of the ophthalmology journals, believe it or not, to submit an article on ozone eye drops. So I just want to get a summary of my patient's experience.
Okay.
So if you did get that questionnaire, or if you lost it, I wanted to know how long you've been using the ozone, if it helped your symptoms, if you eliminated some eye drops and things like that. Tyra, hi.
Hi, I have another question. As far as the eye pressure, ever since I had surgery for detached retina, and they also did a surgical iridotomy, and my pressure has been so low that I worry that it's too low to heal. It's been 4 to 5, sometimes clear down to like 3. Is there anything that can be done, or is that a worry?
I think the eye's probably, you had the retinal detachment surgery, so the eye's probably in a state of shock. So gradually the vitality will come back. But I'd rather see it 3 than 20.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Because remember, the lower the pressure, the more perfusion you're going to get to the optic nerve and retina. So actually that could be a benefit in terms of getting the circulation to the eye, having it go like that. Elaine, you have any questions? How are you doing? You have to unmute.
I've had a lot of problems with computer and telephones, and one's dead, and I just can't get anything right now to get it straightened out. So if you don't hear from me, that's what's happening.
Okay, well, you made the Zoom meeting, so that's a step in the right direction.
I finally got on today and just got off with talking to the phone company, and I'm hoping it's a new phone is connected. We'll see. Maybe it's okay.
Mhm.
But as far as myself is concerned, I'm fighting a double ear imbalance right now, and that's what I'm working with. My equilibrium is off, and my original doctor diagnosed it as an infection, and when I went to the ENT, he said it was no infection and the ears didn't need to be cleaned, that it was the 2 ears weren't working together. So I'm working on the exercises he gave me. He said that he wouldn't give me any drugs because they affect the brain memory, and he didn't want to do that.
Mhm.
So
Well,
that's
we may want to change your homeopathic remedy, because anytime you develop a new symptom like that, that may mean we want to change the remedy. So
the last one I started on just the testing against my heart and so forth, and I got very dizzy, and I don't think it was from that, and I never connected the two, so I stopped taking it. I never really started taking the drops. So
even a low potency, like 1 drop.
You know, yeah, come to think of it, there was one drop that I started with, and then I started on the second one and quit because I got to the point I couldn't walk. So I stopped everything because I didn't know what it was.
Mm-hmm. Well, in a case like that, wait until everything clears and then just gradually start one thing after another.
That's what I'm doing. It's the only thing I've learned to do with all my sensitivities, to stop everything and wait and then go back.
But my goal was to really get the right remedy to make you stronger, to reduce the sensitivities.
Oh, that's what I'm praying for.
Yeah, so we may have to review your case again. But I think there is an answer with homeopathy, no question about that.
Well, my ENT said it might be up to 6 weeks for me to get my balance straightened out.
Mm-hmm. Well, do the exercises that he recommended, and then
Yes.
let's talk about maybe changing the remedy. Sound good?
If you think that's the best thing to do, if it affected my my ears, I don't think so, but it's a possibility. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was having some of that before I started on the remedy, and I thought it was just an overnight thing. Cause sometimes I get that with my ear when I sleep on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't think it was the last remedy, so it's never really been used.
Mm-hmm. Well,
But
then maybe restart.
whatever your thoughts are, I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, let's restart the remedy gradually, the sensitivity protocol, and see what happens.
And I'll wait till this is over with.
No, I would start the sensitivity protocol, just hold the remedy against your heart,
Yes,
just start the whole process. Yeah, people that are very sensitive, we have a sensitivity protocol. Many of you are taking a remedy and you're putting 6 to 7 drops in half a cup and taking a teaspoon. But if you're very sensitive, what you do is we just have you hold the remedy against your heart one day, and then the next day just open the bottle and hold it against your heart. And the third day, just gently smell the remedy,
yeah.
and then begin by taking just 1 drop. So there's a whole sensitivity protocol. But the goal is the homeopathic remedy should make your body stronger, that you're not going to be as sensitive. And if it's
But,
not working, we haven't got the right remedy.
I think there's a bug in the situation because I called my homeopath I couldn't walk with the being so sensitive with my head. I couldn't walk, and he gave me something that I was on up until today. So I have to wait to start the remedy before that, at least a week, right?
Well, I don't like it when you mix remedies.
Well, I'm on something for my imbalance right now.
And what is that?
Belladonna.
Okay. Yeah, see, it's not good to mix remedies. That
That's why
confuses the
I
body.
wanted to let you know everything. So
Yeah, because
I can't.
those of you that are taking a homeopathic remedy, I don't want you to take another remedy from somebody else because it mixes up the case. Then
I
we're not gonna-
I couldn't walk in the morning, and I couldn't function, and the first doctor didn't help me, and then I called the homeopathic. So I made a mistake, I guess, but I
Yeah,
didn't
well,
know.
let's wait till that remedy clears. You have to wait about a week or so, and
Okay,
yeah.
as when I don't take it, I get so dizzy that I can't function, so it's been there a while, about 2 weeks now.
Mhm. Okay, any other questions? Okay, well, anyway, thanks for joining the meeting, and everybody have a good weekend, okay?
Thank you, Dr. Kondrot.
Thank you,
And then
doctor.
we'll be talking again in a couple of weeks, okay?
All right, thank you.
Okay, take care,
Bye.
everybody.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
Bye-bye.